Hello, and welcome back to Irene Plays. Today, we're actually at a property that I showed you last year, a little over a year ago. It is the house, it's a recreation of the house that my grandmother, my mother's mother, lived in when I was a child. And I want to go through it one more time, and when we're done, I am going to rent it. Okay, now I'm realizing as I come back and look around this property that I probably made it a little bit bigger than it needed to be. I don't think her hall was quite this wide. I don't think the rooms were quite this big, but it does have the feel of her house. This is, of course, a picture of my grandmother. And anyone who's been around my channel with any frequency knows that her name was Hedwig. And she loved owls by coincidence. So, this is her living room with the TV. She was one of the first people I knew that had a color TV set when I was a child. This is the dining room. And she actually did have one of these old-fashioned radios. And the piano, where my mother learned to play the piano. Where I learned to play the piano. Now, her piano was actually, well, it wasn't a player piano, but it was originally a player piano. When she bought it, it was a player piano that had had the works removed, so you could just play it as a regular piano. Through this doorway is the kitchen, and it actually was a fairly large kitchen like this. Interestingly, there was actually another door here to the right of the archway that leads to the hall there that led down to the basement. But of course, in House Flipper 1, you can't do basements. And over here, we have the back door that leads out onto a porch. And in her home, there was a garage here. And then around the back, there were stairs that went down to the basement also. Inside the kitchen here, we have a pantry. And as I said, when we're done looking at the house, I am going to rent it out. This was her birthday cake. It's still there. In real life, it would have mold an inch thick, but in the game, it does not. Now, when I was a child and visiting Grandma, actually, we lived in her home for a while. I used to have a playhouse. It was actually made of cardboard, and it was a little bit taller than I was at the time. Not taller than I am, although I'm not significantly taller. I was only 5 or less, maybe 3 or 4. Anyway, it was right here in the living room, and I used to play there. In the hall, there really was an aquarium, and there was a table like this. The chairs that she had here, though, were actually quite massive, and they were used as the chairs that you would sit on to try on shoes in my great-grandfather's shoe store. My great-grandfather was a shoemaker. And then up here we have, this was originally, I think, a bedroom before they made the bathroom over here. And there's a bathroom here. And then down this hallway, actually directly across from the top of the stairs, was my grandmother's bedroom. And many nights that I would stay over at her house, I would come in here and I would sit on the bed, and she would go to bed, and I would sit on the end of the bed, and she would tell me stories about her childhood and stories about her family that she had gotten from her older brother and sister and parents when she was young. This bedroom during the time that we did stay with them, this was my mom and dad's room and my room. I never had my own room while we were at Grandma's house, and I had a crib. Then down this hall, there's yet another bedroom, and this was my great-grandmother's room when, before I was born, actually, before we lived there. But that's where her bedroom was, my great-grandmother. My grandmother's mother. So now that we've toured this house, what I want to do is rent it. I just somehow can't bring myself to sell it. Now, her front yard actually was surrounded by hedges like this, but she had a porch that was up a couple steps. I just, at the time that I built this house, didn't know how to do that. I probably could use the little platforms, but for now, I'm just going to leave it like this. So let's see what we can get for it. Let's rent the house. We're going to rent it as housing because that's the only one that actually qualifies. Let's rent it out and let's look for a tenant. It's occupied and we're going to get $160 a day. That's not too bad. Let's go back to the office.
Hey folks, Allie here. And before we get too far into this video, I'd like to remind you to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, like this video, share it with your friends, and make comments. All those things help other people see this channel. So thank you very much.
And once we get back to the office, we're going to go to the property in the woods. What makes that property interesting, you saw the beginnings of it last Thursday. And we're going to continue on that property. We now have a mayor, and I'll explain that in a moment. And we have our first town residents. And the first residents in this town are Matt and Merck. They have bought a small house. This right near the mayor's house, actually. So let's go quickly. Let's run as fast as we can into our home. This is my office. And we are going to go to the property in the woods. In the woods. Now, as I said, the property, the town now has a name. The name of this town is Owl's Grove. Maybe you can guess who the mayor is. As soon as we get there, I'll show you her house, which we actually looked at a little bit last time. I had tried to limit it to being a tiny house, but I decided that when we elected our mayor, she made it clear to me that she did not want a tiny house. So what we did was we made a full second floor, and, well, you'll see when we get there. By the way, I wanted to mention, if I can find it again, for some reason, yeah, there it is. Well, there's still only one, at least. This light just simply appeared here on its own. I did not buy it. I did not place it. It just appeared. Okay, so here we are. This is... We need to be on the other side. Okay, this is the mayor's house. And this is Owl's Grove. Mayor is Hedwig K. Cole, which is my grandmother. The K was for her maiden name, which was Kwiatkowska. Kwiatkowski was the actual family name, but she is a she. And women's last names were pronounced with an A on the end as opposed to men's, which ended in an I. So this is her house inside, and green was one of her favorite colors. In here we have a bathroom, which is actually blue and green, and she has a nice shower. And I put a little shelf here so she can have bathroom accessories. We want, where is the cosmetics? That's what I want. Women's shampoo. Let's do that. Shampoo and I want body wash, if I can find it. Face cream, perfume, nail polish, perfume. Oh, we'll use this women's shower gel here because this is the mayor's house. Okay. So, anyhow, close that. So that's the bathroom. And I actually got rid of the ladder that was here. I just couldn't imagine my grandmother Cole climbing a ladder to get to the upstairs. We've got some spices over here. Nice kitchen, sink, stove, refrigerator. And then if we go up these stairs, we'll be in her bedroom. She's got a washer and a dryer and a picture of an owl, which is, by the way, an ornament that was given to me by my friend Irene. Detergent for the clothing. We've got a bed over here. So that's what we've got for her so far. I may put in some more decorations and little things like that, but otherwise, this home is pretty much finished. Outside, we've got a nice little table where she can sit and enjoy the day on a lovely day. And then next door to her is another home, and this one belongs to Matt and Merc. And if we go inside, you'll see this one is closer to a tiny house, about as close as you can get with the furniture in House Flipper 1. We've got his bed and a chair for him to sit in. There's a picture of Merc. And here's Merc's bed over here. And the kitchen. Through this door, we have a, through this door, there we go. Through this door, we have a bathroom. He's got a shower. He's got a Spider-Man, Superman, red and blue sink. And you'll notice that everything in this house is either red or blue or black. Red, blue, black, and white. Okay, so outside we have some pretty flowers over here. I think these are oleanders. We've got a tree back here. We've got a table for when you're entertaining guests outside. And that actually is pretty much what I've got to show to you for today. And I am going to add a survey to, I love how these new paving tiles fit together. They're pretty easy to work. They seem to fit together slightly better than the ones that were here originally that we had. But I also like them because they're a little bit fancy. Anyhow, let me get back to the point I was trying to make, which is that I'm going to post a survey on my community tab of my channel. And we're going to see what type of business you would like to see here. Do we want to have a little diner? Do we want to have a convenience store? A little market? Well, we'll add the things to the list and you can pick. But this is a joint venture between all of us that we can share. And we're going to make this as nice a village as we can. I don't know what to do with that. I didn't buy it. I swear I didn't. And I've had this show up like this on other properties. I'm going to move it to the other side of the road just to see if it comes back again so that we have two of them. Oh, I do have two of them. How about that? Really, just two? No, three. Every time I pick one up, another one appears. Oh, that's great. It's even weirder. Okay, so let's call this a day. I will be back on Friday with another video. And by Friday, hopefully I will have heard from you and you will have told me what you would like to see next. And yeah, have a good week. I will see you again on Friday.